What's up, guys? So today you're gonna see me square this front axle up, throw some tube on this bad boy, and get this 4-link suspension just about dialed. Don't know about this episode, but maybe in the next episode or two it should be on its own way up front. And then we'll take ourselves to the back, get the rear taken care of. Don't know if the client wants to go leaf springs, which that was the plan, but sometimes once they see how well the 4-link and everything is looking, they change their mind. So we're gonna see. That being said, we got our plumb bobs on here, we got our level, we got all of our stuff squared up, okay? We're gonna be throwing our shock hoop up. This is what we got bent up. This is our WFL lab design. Lots of people have done this, but we're just saying this is ours that we like to do. It's kind of hard to make something new these days, especially when most of it is all copied. That being said, it's also hard to change mounts, you know, especially if you're just, you know, making it for a rig that, you know, mounts have already been, you know, made readily available for. But this one we're doing all in-house, so everything's custom, nice and clean, and to our specifications. So join us and we'll show you how we do this. So now that we got our shock hoops almost perfectly level, or level straight up and down, vertical, okay, we're going to project our shocks back to what we kind of want, just with the magnets. Give us that visual. We're going to walk around, do some clearance checking, make sure all of our stuff looks proper on our end. And we shall see what we get. We have 82.1 here. So that's almost 8 degrees of tilt back. And we have almost 82. We almost have the same thing. We go 82.3. I'll fix that when we actually go to do it. Are tilted back to the tailgate 8 degrees. I don't want to go anymore because I don't think we'll need it, but we'll see when we cycle the suspension. Right now this is just the lower links. I was going to get the shocks kind of stuck in with some temporary brackets, and then I was going to start doing the upper links mounts and the front steering ram mount. That way I can make sure all my clearances and everything are going to be, you know, just really tight and perfect. This is the more stressful side of the build, honestly, but not no huge deal. We'll get through it. Okay, close the hood. Got the radiator mounted in there with some zip ties to hold it there roughly in place, to give me a rough idea of what I need to make. Okay, as long as you can get something mocked up, that's the main, you know, goal, is get it mocked up so you can do what you actually want to do. Okay, so what I'm first going to do is I'm going to take my measurement here, and we got roughly 1.5 inches from this hole, and this one we got about an inch and a half as well. So we'll make our bracket 1.5 inches out with the hole, okay? But how far down does it have to go on this tube? Well, I already know I want to raise this thing up, and the mount is all of probably about 1.5 inches. So we're going to raise this 1.5 inches from where this hole is. Okay, and this hole is about 3/4 of an inch down from the top of this tube. Okay, so that being said, if it's 1 3/4 from the top of this tube, right there, I want it right here. So we are going to raise it a full, will be about 3/4 of an inch above the tube. So yeah, I don't know why that took so long, but 3/4 of an inch above this tube. So we're gonna do a tab that comes out, over. What's up, guys? I'm going to show you how I screwed up this link mount, but it's not a big deal because we had to get somewhere, get an idea, and this gave me an idea, and it also showed me that I was correct on my initial assumption that this link was too long to meet our 75% upper link length, making our pinion rotate up as the suspension droops down. That being said, I'm going to show you on the computer over here how I redesigned this link, and we'll get her drawn up and get her done. So let's do it. This full hydro ram that I'm holding. Is right here. Okay, so it needs to be farther back, but it's going to hit this mount, I do believe. Okay, so that being said, this needs to be there. This hits right in here. Okay, if this was scooted over more centered, this is going to hit there. Okay, and we can't have that when it's in full max turning angle, whatever you want to call it. Can't think. But so that's our that being said, we're moving the mount bolt hole 2 inches out to fix our initial problem, and then this one is going to be less, but it's going to have to be a little bit fancy because it ain't the same. So what I've decided is I'm going to remove an inch off the back width. It's 1 inch. I like to do a perfect 1 inch square. That way, whatever orientation you put it in, it'll clear. Okay, and so what this is going to do is we're just going to move it over that 1 inch. Okay, and that's dead nuts. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to do it like that. Okay. That should be our mount. There, see a little bit of discrepancy right here. Yeah, so
it should be is it should be this be deleted, and then we'll adjust the radius as needed. Okay. So just make this a little more straight. That way we have a little more material to work with right there. Drop that back. There's that. This is our measuring line. So there's our bracket. So technically, we would be welding right there, but we're going to draw a straight line. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this so that this back is kind of straight. And it's going to show us that this is basically where our intersection line needs to be. That's something that looks clean. Okay. That should be plenty. So we're going to put a dot right there. I'm going to have to fix it, I already know, but oh, that looks about right, yeah. Because then we have our little bit of air space gap right here, should be. So that should work. Looks fairly good. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll rotate this back to its orientation that it's basically going to be in. Okay, and then what we're going to do is right click, we're going to duplicate this. Okay, we're going to make it a lighter gray. This, our height was, our height was 2.75. Okay, rotate that. And what we're going to do is that's going to be brought to the very top. Okay, that's going to be like that. Okay, and what's going to happen is this dot is going to be brought down to there. Thought it was 2. Might have been 3. Let me go measure to double check. I thought it was 2 3/4. Yeah, 2 3/4. So 2 3/4. It's right there. Okay, so then this, we're going to move this down. Making it wide so that way I can see where my center is on my circle. And it doesn't really make much sense yet, but it will. Yep, so there's that. Okay. So as you can see, we have this weird discrepancy right here. So we got to keep our holes in line. If I remember right. Yes, holes still stay in the same line. This part is the only part that we had to change. And this is the part that's going to be angled. Okay, so our short side is going to be even shorter than this side. No. Goodness, I can't remember. We'll just have more meat on that side. Yeah, it should just have more meat on that side, I think, actually. Boom. That should be it. And then you'll connect a strap from there to there, and then it'll box them in with a little bit of a radius, and that should be the mount. Technically, should be it. File, save, exit out, go back to sheet cam. So we're gonna hit file, save job, save. Running at 47 amps, I think 40 inches per minute, maybe 47. And go. And as you can see, going down just a little bit. Pull this one out too. And as you can see, right off the table, these are the parts. That Everlast plasma does really good on our parts. Good for plasma table. And our concrete is not level. It literally, believe it or not, summertime, it'll go kind of flat-ish. Wintertime, it'll raise, and then it'll be completely out of square because the water in the ground freezes up and raises my concrete a little bit. But it's insane. This is an old shop, but I'm working with what I got, and I can get pretty good cuts. So if I can do it, you can too. Mounts over. I'm going to take the wire wheel again. Hit them quick. Okay. And then we're going to hit the flap. Every corner. Okay. Stand this face nice. On a 45. Go around in a nice fluent motion. Clean up the faces just a little bit. As you can see, it's tiny.